Hey there, creative entrepreneurs and photographers. Welcome to our Pro Series. This is where we give your biz a glow up, one step at a time. Industry professionals are spilling their secrets and breaking down their coveted secrets of success. Without further ado, let's jump in. I'm your host, Rebecca Van. Let's go. Hey friends, today we are chatting with Amber Brogdon of Amber Brogdon Photography and Education. We're talking all about balancing mom life. We're chatting about self-care, boundaries, Sunday prep, having business friends, automating our lives, therapist stress, and so much more. Without further ado, here's Amber.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Rebecca Van. I'm so glad to have you here today. I am actually here with a really special treat for you guys. I'm here with Amber Brogdon today of Amber Brogdon Photography in Tallahassee, Florida. She is an incredible wife, mom, and wedding photographer, and she is killing it. And this woman and I have had, I don't know how many Voxers and just voice messages over like how to balance life and motherhood and entrepreneurship and like all of the mom things that come along with owning a business if you are a mother. So today we're going to tackle motherhood and entrepreneurship with Amber Brogdon. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself, Amber.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me, Becca. I am so honored to be a part of your YouTube series. Rebecca is a dear friend of mine, and I just look up to her so much in this industry and as a person. But I am a Tallahassee native, so I married my high school sweetheart, Chad. We've been married since 2015. We have a toddler. He's 2 years old. His name is Beckett, and he keeps us on our toes. He's the sweetest thing, and he's also like just, a toddler. So it's been a learning curve, going from just the two of us to three of us. But I am a wedding photographer primarily, and also creative educator. And so I went full-time about 3 years ago. I went to college for dental hygiene and realized that is not what I want to do. So I worked at that for a few years and I was like, nope. So I turned my passion into my career, and it's been the best thing in the whole entire world. So I probably work more now than I did when I had like a normal, like 8 to 5, but I love it. So,
And you're killing it. Like you are in such a season of growth, and I have loved watching you. We met, I don't even remember what year it was, Amber. It was at some festival in Tallahassee.
oh my goodness. Yeah.
I noticed your booth because you sold organic bloom frames, and I was like, I've never seen anyone else like that sold these too, and I did. So yeah. I was like, I have to check this out, and it was like literally walking up to a booth full of cotton candy, all of the colors, and it was like bubble gum, and it was just pink and blue, and all of the fun colors just like drew me in, and then your personality was just amazing.
You're so sweet.
And so I think that's where we first connected, and then we really didn't start talking until like a while after. But now we're really close as far as like friendship. We're really close friends. We are like biz besties. We talk about everything.
Yes.
And that's why I knew you would be absolutely perfect to talk about motherhood and entrepreneurship.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I want to preface this by saying like my struggle as a mom, and when I started, when I like opened my business license. Now I shot weddings for family and friends for years, but it wasn't until I was 23 that I actually opened an official business license for myself. It was the month before I had my second daughter, so I had a 1.5-year-old and an 8-month-old.
Oh my goodness!
I was 8 months pregnant.
Props to you.
And yeah, and so I remember thinking, this is what I want to do. I've got to figure out how to make it work, but I don't know how.
Yeah.
I don't want corporate life. I don't want to sit at home and do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like feel like my purpose in life is solely raising the girls. Not that that's not a full-time job in itself.
Right.
Not that that's not a valid thing to do. But I just did not feel like I was fulfilling my purpose. And I fully believe that this is the path that God has for me. And I was just like, but how am I going to do this? Because I've got one on my hip, a couple months later, The other one's climbing in the dishwasher, like trying to get knives out. And I'm like, okay, I need to get some control over this. Like, I'm just not sure how I'm going to like make this work.
Yeah.
And it was just like a ton of trial and error. And it was just a hot mess for a while. And I've watched you become a mom and not only have a baby, but also a toddler. And I think that you have just so gracefully adjusted to every curveball that has been thrown your way. Now, I'm not there in the middle of the night seeing all the hard stuff too, but I see that like you react, you're very reactive and you know how to handle certain situations a lot better than how I did when I had little ones. And that's why I want everyone to hear from you. So could you start off by telling us some of the struggles that you have encountered by having a business, working at home, and having a baby and a toddler? Like what does that look like for you?
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you so much for your kind words, because I feel like I am like the epitome of a hot mess. Like, and I want to first say that like, I don't have it all together. I am a hot mess all of the time, but I think that's what makes me real and relatable, is that, you know, I try to show up as like real and raw as I can. And every day is not easy. I do have my struggles. So I am like you. I realized very early on that I'm not meant to just stay at home with my baby. I always thought before I had a kid that like I was going to be a stay-at-home mom. I was going to homeschool, and like, bless those mamas. I think it's an amazing thing, but I cannot do it. I realized very early on that I still wanted to, you know, have this outlet, which is my business. That was like my first baby. I started it. That's my passion. I'm an Enneagram 3 wing 2, I think is what I figured out. So just having that like creative outlet and doing something and like having that as like my purpose in my like work career life, and then having a baby too, like mixed in, I think I realized that I needed space. So I need that space to create and to do something like for myself. And, as photographers and creatives, like that is, our business is like so personal to us.
Yes.
And so I realized I stayed at home with Beckett for the first couple months, and then I'd have my mom watch him a couple days a week for me to work. But even during maternity leave, I was like, I can't do this. Like I can't do it. So we put him in daycare at 9 months, and it was the best thing ever, because I'm a better mom for that. And there's no right or wrong. Like every mom and every family is different. And sometimes I feel guilty because I'm like, I wish I was that mom that wanted to be home all the time and whatever, but I'm not. And I had like a really hard season realizing that is not for everybody, and that was not best for me and our family, because I felt guilty about that. I felt like I should be at home and just doing that. But then I realized that like God's purpose for me is to also have this business and to love on all these people and serve all these clients, as well as being a good mom. So I feel like I'm a better person, a better mom, a better wife, a better everything when I have time. Yes, girl. We go to daycare in the mornings, and he's there until the late afternoon. That's when I work, and it's a godsend. And also, like, he has, that outlet too. So he's able to friends. Yes, he loves it. And structure. Yeah. They do way more than I could ever imagine doing. Like I always wanted to be like that Pinterest mom that had all the fun crafts and stuff. Girl, no. I can't. It takes everything I have to like get us through each day. So all the fun artwork and all the fun things. And I'm just like, it's just a better thing for him to be there during the day. And then, when we do get him in the afternoons, like I feel like I, just enjoy my time with him, and I'm not like stressed out because I haven't been at home frustrated all day trying to manage business and Beckett, because I cannot do both at one time. Like when it's Beckett time, I'm a mom, and then when it's business time, I'm working. So I had to separate both things. I can't do them both, because then I get annoyed at one or the other, and that's not fair to that person.
Yeah. I have to agree with you on that, and I found the same exact thing. I know multiple moms that just work at home, and they have or they did work at home through the years, and they see no reason why I shouldn't just have my kids with me. And I had one person suggest that over the summer, I should just keep the girls in the studio in the back, and they could do homeschool in the back all summer. Not this year, but last year. And they could just, homeschool in the back of the studio while I'm up in the front running the store. And I was like, no, like,
great on paper, but then in reality,
do you know they will be running around in circles? It'll be mama, mama, mama the whole entire day. And it's just one or the other. It needs to be one or the other. For me personally, I just mentally just can't handle it. But I wanted to agree with that. And I also wanted to put praise on the purpose. I really truly feel like God calls all of us to different purposes, higher purposes, higher reasons for us to do things in life. And we have to be open to that. I believe personally. So I do believe we all need to listen to our purpose, because I believe that God does call some of us to be home. God called some of us to be working out of the home. Some of us need to be working in the home. I know my season recently, I did not expect to be working in the home. Yeah. What he has told me to do. And I have not been happier in my business ever.
I know. I'm so proud of you for listening to that and just.
It's crazy. I have chill bumps.
Yes.
It is absolutely crazy. But I also believe that, we also, if someone's listening and they're like, oh, well, I'm just need to be home right now, and this is just my calling for forever. Well, God also calls us to different seasons. I believe that I was in my studio for years, and that was a season of my life. Would I change it? No. Do I feel like there was a purpose for that? Abso-freaking-lutely. There was a real purpose for me being there. And I could talk for hours about why I believe God put me there when he did. But now he told me to change my course. And if he told me to close it completely, I'd be heartbroken. But I would probably do it. I just know that his way is best. And I just love that you recognize as well that we have purpose as moms, that is not just to our children. Though I do believe there are priorities, and our main priority is to steward them well. And absolutely, our priority is to be their mother. But as long as everything is good at home, I believe that there's nothing wrong with us focusing on our business and serving our clients well. I'm so happy you said that.
Thank you.
Yes. So what kind of struggles have your business just brought on to your personal life, like in your home and your day-to-day stuff, that you did not anticipate and that you've probably conquered at this point? Like boundaries, like what type of things are you having to work on, or have you worked on? And how do you deal with laundry and all the things, but while you're running a business at home?
Yes. The first thought that came to my head when you said, what do you struggle with in your business? Boundaries. That was the first thing that I had to implement. And I'm still working at it. It's still a work in progress. And I still see things all the time that I'm like, okay, this needs to shift. I think that everything is about pivoting, because there's different seasons and things are always changing. But setting boundaries is huge, and I'm not perfect at it, but I try to, follow, office hours. So when I'm working, and then I try to, shut off in the afternoon and be done. And I need to get better about unplugging from my phone completely, but I do have boundaries as far as client communication. I only answer emails and communicate during my office hours, which is Monday through Friday. And, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. ish. And then of course, if it's a wedding or something, that is totally different as far as the weekends go with communication. But for the most part, I really just try to stay on that. And so I realized early on that I had to have some kind of system that worked for us, as far as keeping everything kind of sane at home, because now my husband Chad is working from home. We have a small house, it's not big, so my home office is now his home office, and he has to work in there and be on phone calls and things. So now it kind of put me like in the living room, which is fine. It's totally fine. And I can go to a coffee shop and work. That's a good thing about my job, is I can go wherever. But right now I'm in the living room. Sometimes it's from the bedroom, but
Yeah, I love it.
it's just pivoting. But anyway, I try to have some kind of like schedule now that we're both at home.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of like create this little family list for ourselves. And that just includes like a little cleaning schedule, like a little chore every day. I'll do a small load of laundry every day just to stay on top of the laundry, because I realized that waiting until it was a mountain did not work for us. So just one small load every day seems to work really well for us. I just put it in the washer in the morning, and then I'll have it folded and put away usually by the afternoon sometime. But yeah, so just, doing like little daily routines that just make life easier on us. I have a little checklist on the side of the fridge with like morning routines and evening routines. I have tried over and over to get Chad to use it too, and he, bless his heart, he does not like checklists. He's not that kind of person, but it's up there for us to see. So like in the morning, like make the bed, take your vitamins, start a load of laundry, empty the dishwasher if it wasn't done the night before, things like that. So just simple things, feed the cats. And in the evenings, just making sure that, the house is picked up before bed. Beckett's clothes are already laid out for the next day. Everything's kind of prepped and ready for the next day. Beckett's had a bath, dinner, that kind of thing. So it's just like simple things that we do every single day that is on the side of the fridge as a little checklist.
I love that, because we don't have one on our fridge, and I think that would be a great idea, because I think that it's all in my head. And
yes.
My girls are even old enough to read now, so they could actually see it and help. I absolutely love that idea. I think that just getting it out of your head and onto something where you can see it every day would just be a huge help.
Yes, and they can make it fun, like with a little chore chart, like stickers or like an erasable marker, that kind of thing. Since they're old enough for that, would be really, really fun.
Yes.
I think that's a great idea. And like, I think, like you said, it's all in our head. I think as moms and business owners, we carry the mental load. And so getting anything I can, that's just so me. Like I have everything in my head. So getting it all, yes, out on paper, even if my husband doesn't read it, like it's there for me, and like I can see it, and it makes me feel better to have everything written out, to have a plan, and it's not just in my head thinking like, okay, in the morning I need to do this. So like probably no one else cares, but I do, and it makes me feel better.
I love that. So speaking of getting things out, how do you handle, I just remember feeling so overwhelmed, especially in the toddler stage. And I remember, my girls are old enough to help me now. They can literally help me, not, run crazy through the house, which they still do that. But it's different with a 2-year-old and an 8-year-old to say, please stop running through the house, but a 2-year-old has a lot more energy that they need to just expel through the day. Yeah. I remember feeling just completely overwhelmed in that season of motherhood. And my thought is, if someone is watching and they are in that season, in your season, just like I was, but completely lost in how to just get a grip on life, what would your top 3 just quick tips be for someone who feels completely lost to get the most efficient grip on their life right now?
So those are really good questions. I think just, figuring out what works for your family. So that's going to look different for every single person, but, figuring out, if you need to work from home or work inside the home, whatever that is, like figuring out the dynamics of your family and making sure that fits really well. The second thing would be to kind of like create a list. So brain dump everything that you have and kind of just figure out, okay, this is what I do on a daily basis. This is what I do on a weekly basis, or what I need to start doing to make life easier. Because I feel like anything that we can simplify and automate,
Yes.
just helps to, take that load off of us and the stress off of us. So anything that you can kind of like brain dump on paper and write it out, it helps tremendously. And the next thing I would say is just to like have somebody to talk to, like just a friend. Like I'll vox you sometimes and just be like, girl, I'm losing my mind today. Like I need, I just need a minute. I'm gonna lose my cool.
Yes.
And sometimes it's like that. And then other days I feel like I'm like on top of the world. It's just like a roller coaster. And I feel like that is, we need to normalize that as moms, as humans, that every day is not perfect. No day is perfect, really.
Yeah.
And that we all struggle. And I think that just having someone to like talk to, and just to know that like you're not alone is huge.
Completely agree, because I constantly need you. We box each other.
Yeah.
Marco Polo, we voice message, whatever's the closest. Sometimes we just have like a moment where it's just too much. And if you're experiencing that, just know that it's completely normal to have bad days, crazy days, especially when you're in the toddler world. And then when you end up with 2 toddlers or multiple toddlers.
I don't know how you did it, girl.
Yeah, it's just a whirlwind of a season, and you just have to take a deep breath, give yourself grace, and move forward. Now,
Exactly.
Amber, one thing that really stuck out to me that I never did, and I kick myself now because I wish that I never did this Sunday prep that you talk about.
Yeah.
And I want everyone to hear what you do, because I think that this is such a good concept and thing for someone to apply, because I think that it can radically change your entire week. And ever since you brought it up to me, I've really looked into it a lot more. And just enlighten everyone, please.
Yes. So on Sundays, we sit down and we just figure out like the next upcoming week. So every week is different. As an entrepreneur, sometimes I have sessions or weddings on the weekends, and then other times I don't have as many in-person things, and I have like a heavier behind the scenes work day. And so what we do is we sit down every Sunday, and it takes about 30 minutes or so, and we just look at the upcoming week. So we consider the non-negotiable things first. So things that, are set in stone, like Chad's work schedule, my work schedule, sessions, doctor's appointments, that kind of thing. And we just, put those out on the calendar, things that we cannot, that are non-negotiable. And then from there we see, okay, well, this is, a lighter week, so I can do some workouts. I like to do Pure Barre, so sometimes I'll go in the studio just a couple times a week just for an outlet. And so I'll say, okay, I have an empty evening or day on this day, so I'll schedule that in. So negotiable things, so like lunch with friends or anything extra that we can fit in. But I also like to have white space on my calendar, so I don't like to overcommit myself. This isn't always the case. I know sometimes I box you and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed, like what did I do? But I try to get better all the time about not overcommitting myself. And I really have gotten better about knowing my boundaries, because when I get stressed out, it's not good for anybody.
Yeah.
So,
amen to that. And I think that is one, I think we need to make that like a quotable. Like, when you're stressed out, it's not good for anybody. So just plan the white space. Just
exactly.
Stop cramming your weeks full. And I needed someone to look at me and say, Becca, you can't fill up every minute of every day. Stop trying. Just stop. Like, there's literally no successful woman in your life that you want to be like that is crammed to the max every day. There's no one, because it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Too much. And you're really shooting yourself in the foot if you're going to keep planning. You mentioned that you go to Pure Barre, and I just want to touch on this really quickly. What makes you want to go work out, and why should working moms and entrepreneurs make the time and carve out the space in their day to do this, especially if they don't enjoy it?
That's a really good question. And I honestly feel selfish. I think I am a selfish person when it comes to time for myself. A lot of moms are like, want to be with their, family 24/7. And I think that's amazing. And I'm like, I need space. And I know that about myself. And I know that I need an outlet. And so I am very selfish with my self-care time. That is time for me. I usually go with my sister-in-law, and we just go and have like an hour of like a workout, and we usually ride together. So we have some girl time, like on the way there and the way back. And I don't know. That's just like my time that I can like go and work out. And sometimes I'm really not looking forward to like actually going to work out, but I know that I feel so much better when I'm done. And so I really try to make time to schedule that in. But it's not feasible during the season of life to go every single day outside of the studio or outside of my house into the studio. So I also do like at home Peloton rides. So I'll do like a 20 or 30-minute ride at home, just something to get my body moving. Once it gets cooler outside, I'll start to walk outside maybe, but like right now I'm being like a hot mess. It's just disgusting. I can't. So
it's a million degrees in Florida. I mean, no big deal, right?
Can't do it. So just something to get my body moving. And I think it's so good for not only like your health, but just like your mind, just to like get, especially because we carry the mental load. We are, always like have things in our head, Enneagram 3s, like we're just always trying to create and do. And I'm like, I just need a place to like listen to loud music and work out and just like get my, like, get all my energy out. So that's what that is for me. And so I really do enjoy that. But I'm also, I'm a huge proponent of like self-care. So I'll go for a monthly massage and get my nails done. And I feel selfish for saying that. I really do
feel like we need to tell these moms that are watching, like, go get a massage, go do the thing that makes you feel better, even if it's not Pure Barre or Peloton or walking or, I mean, it's too hot out here in Florida to walk, but I'm sure in Colorado, it's probably beautiful to go walk. And go, like, do something, move your body. And I've done so much research. We did not, my family, we did not grow up in a gym. We did not grow up consistently. Like, I didn't feel like I also didn't want to go outside, like, because it's so hot here. But I didn't really care for like actively moving my body. And the older I get, the more I want to instill in my girls, the more that I realize how important it is. And I wish someone had told me years ago.
Yeah.
When you move your body, when you sweat, when you release tension, your body has been building it up for so long. And every stressful moment of the day, every accident that happened, every bill that just came in and you realize you forgot to pay it, every client that has an issue, like every issue that you're having in your adult motherhood entrepreneur life is building up in you. And it's not meant to just keep it in. Like, you're meant to release it. So you need a girlfriend like Amber. You need to go physically walk. You need to sweat. You need to hit. You need to hit a punching bag.
Whatever that is.
Whatever the heck. Go get a massage. Just need to get up out of your seat and go move and get that tension and that stress out somehow every day. And sometimes I find just talking to Amber or like calling my sister or calling one of my best friends is like all I need. Like, I just need to get it out. But I will add, there's something to doing physical activity. And I was not one of those moms that put my baby in a stroller and went and walked every day. That didn't occur to me. Like, it just didn't occur to me. And looking back, I'm like, now I wish I could do it over, because I know what good sunshine and vitamin D does for us now. And I didn't when I was a new mom. And so if I didn't, I know there are so many other moms that are working and trying to pull this grind off, but they don't know either. So I'm so glad that you brought up that you work out, because I just wanted to tell these mamas what I've learned the hard way. And that is, get out and move. Go outside, get some sunshine. That's why we started our garden, and we love these chickens that we have, and it's just so good for us as a family. I'm not being, productive in the sense of getting things done, but that's the whole point. Like, it's not about that. It's a decompression for us to get dirty and get in the sun. And that's why so many people love to grow and farm and have animals. It's just not stressful.
Yes, it's some kind of like therapy and just something that you can just, focus your mind on. And it's totally
Therapeutic.
unrelated to everything else. I love that. And I love that the whole family can get involved too. I think that's amazing.
It has been like a really good fit for us. And I know that not everyone will fit that bill, but I love that you just said therapeutic. Like, if you need a therapist, get you a therapist. Like,
Oh, yes.
if you love to paint,
About it.
yeah, like
I really
whatever.
think everybody could use a therapist. I don't care if you have nothing going on. Like, I think it's so good for everybody. Like, just have somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
And I think therapists are amazing. Somebody that is there for just to listen and to
Yeah.
that's made to help you and trained in that way. I think it's incredible.
I think so too. And I think that it just can get so much just negativity out of us. And when we speak it out and we just say it and we say, this is what's wrong, there's just something about someone looking at us and saying it's going to be okay. Or this isn't the end of the world, and putting things in a perspective for us. And the other thing I wanted to bring up is, do you have your planner with you that we might get a peek into?
Yes. Let's see here. Okay. So this is, I use Emily Lay's simplified planner, but there is no right or wrong. This is a daily planner. So every day it's pretty simple. That's why it's called a simplified planner, but it just has a lot of white space. And so it's kind of hard to see, but you can see that there's like time slots. So from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. With lines and a to-do list and then notes. So that is what I use every day to kind of plan out my day. And sometimes that is like super simple things like I'm planning out, but for October, it's the first work day of the month, or the first day of the month that's on a weekday, is my monthly duty day. So for my work, and then pay sales tax. And so that's just kind of how I keep everything organized and simplified. And we also kind of go through on Sundays and meal plan for the week. So as we're looking at what lies ahead for the week ahead, we will say, okay, well, let's go ahead and pick out like, 6 to 7 things to cook this week. Yeah. And then we might do takeout. But we go ahead and like write that in our calendar. And so I'll usually use like the monthly spread for that. And this is just a whole bunch of stuff, but you can see like I'll put on like, we'll just kind of write in like what we're going to have for the week. And we also have like a magnetic, dry erase board on the side of the fridge that we just like rewrite that on the side of the fridge. Yeah. So, and of course, like it's all about grace and it's not about like over planning. So if we want to switch something up, we're not feeling it that night, we'll just rotate it. But then we know when we go to the grocery store to buy X, Y, and Z that we need to, cook for the week, the ingredients. And so it just makes our life so much easier. So at the end of the day, we're not like, oh my gosh, what do we eat tonight? Like I'm so annoyed. I don't do the cooking, Chad does. I do the cleaning. So I can't even like say that I have to cook because I don't, but it makes his life easier. He loves cooking. So I'm like, go for it because I'm not good.
Joey does too. Joey does too. And he's a way better cook than I could ever be.
Yes.
I mean, he's so good at it, but I really need to be organized and have it there so that if and when he's able to cook, he can, and we have what we need. And that's brilliant because as simple as it is, to just say, okay, I'm going to write down what we're going to eat for dinner this week. That'll take 1 or 2 minutes to write it down. And it's done. Do you realize how much time you stress about like what we're having for dinner tonight?
Oh my gosh. And it causes a big fight because you're like, oh my gosh, if you don't plan and you're like you didn't plan dinner, we didn't plan dinner, what are we going to cook? And then you're like trying to figure it out and you just get annoyed at each other and it's not good. So just that's one thing that has been like life-changing for us. And it takes, like you said, a couple minutes on a Sunday just to write it out and then just to know.
Yeah,
another thing exactly. We go ahead and where I lay out Beckett's clothes for the week. So we have like one of those like little cheap hanging closet organizers from like the Target dollar spot. And I just go ahead and like look at the weather for the week. Right now it's hot, so it's very easy. Yeah. But as it starts to cool off, kind of see like, if we need like warmer clothes or cooler clothes. But I just go ahead and like put like all of his outfits in the little slots for the week. And so I don't have to worry about like, what is he wearing the next day? And if I had to like work outside of the home, I would do the same thing for myself. But I'm like in workout clothes every day, except for if I have something else to do. So I just like throw on a workout tank and some leggings. But if I worked outside of the home, I would do the same thing. So you're not like stressing that morning, because that's like the worst thing, is to like start your day off on the wrong foot where you're like annoyed and stressed out. So anything I can do like on Sundays or the night before, I do, because I don't want to be like frazzled and stressed out. And it just like, it's so simple sounding, but it takes so much off of you.
It does. I remember just trying to get to church Sundays and just feeling like this was a dang feat just to get here. And I'd get there and I was so frazzled at that point, and I'm like not even enjoying it. Like, why did we even get here? Because now I'm just so like tense and upset. It was more stress.
Exactly.
But I didn't know, nobody had told me, hey, prep the things the night before and your life will go 80 million times smoother. So here we are. This is what we're telling you. This is how moms are like doing it. This is how we are functioning and getting by. And the one other thing I wanted to touch on, Amber, was how do you plan out your big picture goals? Do you use power sheets or anything like that?
So I've never used power sheets, but I've always wanted them. So that is like something that I will have to get, because I heard they're amazing. Do you have them right in front of you?
I do. And I just wanted to show some other moms in case that they don't have, if they've never heard of power sheets.
Yes.
These are my power sheets from last year. And basically they're made by a company called Cultivate What Matters. And it is a large picture, well, I guess the girls drew in mine. It's a large picture. It's a larger picture goal setting workbook. So basically you go through your action plan, you go through a big picture goal, why you want it. It walks you through like why the positive effect on taking this action. And it just helps you break down any goals that you really want. And through the years, these have been super helpful for me. I haven't finished this one, but when I was trying to figure out like what I wanted out of life and like how I'm gonna like make kids happen and like get them where they needed to go, I could really only figure out how to handle one small chunk of a goal at a time, but they were all jumbled in my head. So power sheets are a really good resource if you are in that same boat and you need help just like organizing like what your goals are going to be. Once you like break it down, Amber and I are threes. We're Enneagram threes. So we're achievers. We tend to do things. We're just different than a lot of people. I mean, not business owners in general. A lot of business owners are threes. Yeah. But when I have to break down the why of my goal, I learn a lot about why I'm trying to achieve this huge goal. And there's a lot of fluff that is really not necessary for my life in that why. And so that's part of why I'm recommending this, because I know how valuable it is when you think, oh, well, I just need to start a page and get 50,000 followers, but why? Like, what is that going to do?
So good. I need these in my life.
Yes, they're so good. They're so good. And so I just wanted to like give moms, if you are struggling with setting goals and you're just not sure like how to break them down, you need a power sheet. You need a power sheet. So now, Amber, you have put together an amazing mini guide for working moms. Can you tell me about this?
Yes. Oh, thank you. So I just kind of made a simple and organized PDF of how I prep for the week. So it's everything from what I do on a daily basis, what I do on a weekly basis, and just the little tidbits that I've learned from throughout the years on my own, from other people. And it's like everything that I do just to kind of keep us organized, how I plan my calendar for the week, how I, the little things I do, such as, picking out Beckett's outfits and meal planning, and just all the little things like that just make my life easier as a mom, as a wife, as a business owner. And I am not perfect and I still have rough days, but this guide has just kind of helped me to realize, okay, this is what I need to do to like try to minimize any kind of stress and overwhelm and anxiety. And so I have just kind of put together a guide for any kind of mom, especially a working mom or an entrepreneur mom, that they can use just to kind of like simplify and, figure out a system that works for them. It's super simple, and it's just little tidbits of information that they can take and apply to their own life.
And it is so stinking cute. I don't know if you can see her in the background here, but it is so stinking cute. So if you need help, if you just want to learn how to prep, how to organize, how to get your mom life together while you're running your own small business, make sure you find our link in the description box. It'll be right down there where you can download it. And Amber, how else can anyone find you? How can we follow you? How can we stay in touch?
Yes, so I have a website, amberbrogdonphotography.com. I'm on Instagram at Amber Brogdon Photography. I'm on Facebook, Amber Brogdon Photography, and on Pinterest, Amber Brogdon Photography. And then Becca will have how to spell Brogdon because it's not the easiest. So people always get mixed up. But yeah, so I'm kind of all over. I'm mostly on Instagram. So I would love to connect on there and help you out however I can. Just
that is amazing.
Know that we're doing a great job.
You do coaching now, don't you?
Yes. So the education is like really opening up. I have some freebies on my website, on the ABP shop, and I'm going to also be launching a course here soon. So we will, all the kind of coaching. I'm kind of like pivoting into a whole new realm. So I'm super excited. I can't share too much yet, but I am.
Well, if you want to stay updated with Amber and all things Amber Brogdon Photography, make sure you hop over and get on her email list, download your free guide. And thank you so much for joining us today. We love you guys. Y'all are the best. Yes, I'm so glad you were here, Amber. Thank you. And please make sure you subscribe and like below. Whenever you subscribe, it helps the algorithm tell other photographers that this is helpful for them and that this is good content. So I would really appreciate if you would do that for us. Thanks so much, guys. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you.
But sometimes it can be beautiful. That's just love. That's just love. You will get back up again, even if you don't know when. And it feels like the world is coming down on you. You have to move on. Deal with your broken heart. No matter what you think, you'll never ever get enough of love. Love.